I am Will Scott. We have some breaking news on Dolphins today. Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has been ruled out for Sunday's wild card game in Buffalo against the Bills. This coming moments ago from Mike McDaniel's press conference. Adam Schefter tweeting that Mike McDaniel has ruled out Tua Tagovailoa for Sunday's game versus Buffalo. He has still not cleared concussion protocol. So we discussed on Monday that McDaniel said that Tua had not progressed to the next stage of protocol. He really needed to do that by today to have a chance to play. He has not done that. He's still in the protocol. He is out for Sunday's game in Buffalo, and this is why you subscribe, because when Dolphins news breaks, we're going to get you a video ASAP. So go down and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because if you turn on your notifications, you are going to get an alert on your phone whenever we put out a video. So we'll be talking about Tua on today's show. Obviously, disappointing news that he is not going to play on Sunday. He suffered his second confirmed concussion of the season versus the Green Bay Packers on Christmas Day. Of course, he was going off in the first half of that game, and then we had that play at the end of the first half that a lot of us didn't notice. His head slammed into the ground. He comes in the next morning to the facility with concussion symptoms, and they do diagnose him with that second confirmed concussion. He's missed the last two games, now ruled out for Sunday, and Miami has struggled this year without Tua. They're kind of 1-4 without Tua because, he started that Bengals game, but he didn't play most of that game because of the really scary concussion he suffered in Cincinnati. Miami, though, is 1-3 this season without Tua, that one win coming in Week 18 versus the Jets. And now Miami faces an uphill battle because it was already going to be very tough, even with Tua, to go in and beat the Buffalo Bills. But now you are probably going to start a seventh-round rookie quarterback in Buffalo against the Bills. You might be without Armstead. You're probably going to be without Raheem Mostert. You might be without some other guys as well. This is going to be an uphill battle to go into Buffalo and try to at least be competitive in this football game. I'm not just saying win this football game, but be competitive in this football game. Barry Jackson tweeting this out. He was at the press conference moments ago. McDaniel said Tua hasn't had any setbacks but has compounding variables in play. Doctors are supposed to consider past concussions in clearing a player, and that could be coming into play. And obviously, if that's the case, you have to understand the thinking there. So if this is the end of Tua's season, it was a great season for Tagovailoa in year 3. Over 3,500 yards. He led the NFL in quarterback rating, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks, a 64.8% completion percentage. As I said, led the NFL in passer rating. Also tied for first in the league in passing touchdowns per attempt, first in the league in yards per attempt, first in the league yards per completion. So, unbelievable season for Tua. It sucks. It's sad that it has to end like this potentially. I'm not saying he couldn't come back if the Dolphins win this game, but man, it's gonna be tough to go into Buffalo and win this game without Tua on Sunday. Now, show some love to Uno. Type Uno down in the comments section. Show some love to Tua as he remains in the concussion protocol. And you have to also think about how tough this is for him. The fact that he's worked so hard his entire career to be in a position to play in a playoff game. He led Miami to the playoffs. McDaniel just said that in the press conference, that 8 of our wins came because of Tua Tagovailoa. He had a phenomenal season, so you got to know how tough it is for him that he can't go out there and compete with his team on Sunday in what would have been the biggest game of his life. So type Uno down in the comment section. Show some love to Tua Tagovailoa. Barry Jackson also tweeted this from the press conference. Has any concern been raised by doctors about Tua playing again, and does the team expect him to resume his career? McDaniel declined to answer, saying, I'm just thinking about him getting full health as a human being. And I feel the same way. I just want Tua to get well. And there's going to be a lot of questions in the coming weeks and coming months about if Tua is going to play the game of football again. And that's going to be his decision. It's going to be up to the doctors as well, what they think. But I just want Tua to get well. I just want him to get healthy. And I think that's what we're all thinking right now. We're disappointed that he's not going to be out there on Sunday. It's extremely unfortunate. It's just an unfortunate situation all the way around. But let's just hope Tua fully recovers and can get back to his normal self. You can bet on the game, and my goodness, the spread is changing very quickly here at chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125 to pick up a 125% deposit bonus. That means if you put in $100, you're going to start with $225 in your account. Chatsports.com/bet. Go to that link and put in that promo code. And before we were filming, thanks to producer Trace for updating this ASAP. He's the man working behind the scenes. The spread was at 9. Now it's at 13. And I had a friend of mine who's in the sports betting world. He works for a sports betting company, and he texted me yesterday, and he's like, man, the spread's down to 9. I think Tua's going to play. And then we hear today Tua's not going to play. And the spread is now all the way up to 13 for Buffalo. So if you still think the Fins can cover, chatsports.com/bet, promo code Dolphins125. Hopefully the Dolphins make this game competitive. It's going to be tough to do because you're without QB1. You're probably without QB2. Teddy Bridgewater is still working to prepare to play on Sunday. McDaniel's saying that he cannot afford any setbacks. And when I was listening to this press conference, I was watching live, as if many of you were. It sounds like Skylar Thompson is going to start. It sounds like best case scenario for Teddy, he's going to be active and will be Skylar's backup. But they are going to prepare for Skylar Thompson to start this game. And I think that's the right call. I mean, go with the guy that's taking first-team reps in practice. If Bridgewater can't be out there practicing or can't be taking first-team reps, then Skylar should start. And, of course, Skylar did win. Well, you know, he was the starting quarterback for the Dolphins' win on Sunday against the Jets. Showed us a lot of good things. Obviously, room for improvement with Skylar. But can the Dolphins win without Tua? Y for yes, N for no. I'll say this. The defense has to play the best they've played all year and then some. Josh Boyer has got to turn into Bill Belichick and just become this defensive genius for the Dolphins to have any chance. And you got to get creative on offense, I think. You got to get creative on offense. Put Tyreek in the Wildcat. I'm serious. Put Tyreek in the Wildcat a couple times. Skylar Thompson, if you watched him early in his career at Kansas State, some injury issues contributed to him not being that type of quarterback later on. But early in his career in Kansas State, this guy was like Tim Tebow-esque. I mean, running the football. He was unbelievable. He still was great at Kansas State later in his career. He just wasn't much of a dual threat. But you got to get creative. Get Skylar Thompson in on some interesting packages here. Give the ball to Tyreek 9 times out of 10. You just got to get creative on offense to have a chance to win this football game. Be aggressive. And not just without Tua the Dolphins might be without, but it might be Teron Armstead as well, because McDaniel says that Armstead feels frustration and he is uncertain if he will play again this year. So it does not look like Teron Armstead is going to play on Sunday against Buffalo. Hopefully that changes, but that doesn't sound good for Mike McDaniel. We just heard at this press conference. I'll tell you this much. It's going to be an eventful offseason. It's going to be a very eventful offseason. I don't know what the Dolphins are going to do at quarterback. I don't know what Tua is going to do, if Tua is going to come back and play. Again, he has been ruled out for Sunday's playoff game in Buffalo, but he's got some things to think about. If he's going to play again, if he wants to play again, and I think that his brother said that he wants to play again, so I think he will want to play again. But what are the Dolphins going to do here at quarterback? Obviously, Dolphins fans have very mixed feelings. A lot of us, like myself, want Tua to be the guy next year. Think Tua deserves to be the guy next year. But you do have a guy like Tom Brady that's a free agent. Derek Carr might be an option. Jimmy Garoppolo. There's some interesting options out there. So the Dolphins and Lamar Jackson, it's going to be an eventful offseason. What are the Dolphins going to do at quarterback? That is the number one question mark going into the season. But I do believe that Tua did enough and deserves to be the starting quarterback going into next year if he's healthy and if he wants to play. Will Tua be back as the Dolphins QB in 2023? B for back, W for won't, down in the comments section. And if you don't think he'll be back, go down in the comments. Let me know who you think will be the Dolphins QB next year. Again, Tua Tagovailoa ruled out for Sunday's game. Certainly wish him the best. Hopefully he's able to get back to full strength. But the Dolphins will be without QB1 in Buffalo. Their first playoff game in 6 years, just their second playoff game in the last 14 years, and they're going to be without their star quarterback.